This is awkward. You're expecting a bard, or at the very least a storyteller of merit. Instead, you get a thief. If it's any consolation, I am a damned good thief. Or I was. But you see, I have made a mistake. I have stolen something that needs tending. I have stolen something that without my intervention will surely die. I've stolen a story. My name is Vanda, and for the very first time in my life, I mean to tell the truth. The truth of the five. Don't expect flowery language or poignant metaphor. I am not some god's damned bard. But in a realm forgotten, you will remember them. You will remember the five. Well, hello everybody, and welcome to episode 1 of The Realms Remembered, our brand new actual play D&D 5e campaign. We've had our preludes, but if you've missed those, no worries. This is the first canon episode of what will be occurring here in The Realms Remembered. A couple things to go over before we proceed upon this path of adventure. Why are we here? To have fun. How can we be here? Because of our sponsors. I'd like to thank Roll20. Take your game online with Roll20, where you can create your own characters, tokens, maps, insert them into your own Realms Remembered, play with your friends no matter where in the world they may be. Go on to roll20.net and create your own character and account for free. Join us in some realms and make some memories. Also, to our friends over at Die Hard Dice, go over to Die Hard Dice right now. They have a whole bunch of new dice that you can take a look at, drool over, and then purchase. And when you do, make sure you use coupon code THEGRIM for 15% off your next order. Now, how do we help our players? There's two ways that you can do it. The first way is if you retweet our going live tweet. Now, over the preludes, we had some pretty solid retweets, and we actually broke 40 retweets, which was very, very impressive. And because of your involvement and your passion for sharing the campaign, all of our players will start with a D8 of inspiration. So players, make sure that you write down that you have a D8 of inspiration to be used on whatever roles you see fit. And thank Legion and thank our fans here for making sure that those retweets went out. How else can you help? Well, if you look straight down, you'll see our donation table. Follow along, you can give advantages, plot armor, which in this case is 10 temporary hit points, and at first level, that is massive. And so, when those come into play, you can give them per person or per party. You can also give a raspberry beret, which is a permanent item or feat that will come into the play for the character that you designate. And if you'd like to join us, there's a way to do that too. Your character will come into the realms, they will be remembered, they will be part of the canon. And so, as we found out exactly how we can help everyone, here's how you can help me. The Realms Remembered is an experiment. I am using a lot of music, a lot of video, and I'm putting it through Twitch, which lends itself to some problems. If at any time the volume is too low or too loud, you can't hear something, it sounds garbled, there's any type of spooling on your end, or I play a video element that seems not to work right, please, I have no ego to bruise, throw it up in chat and let me know. That'll help me reflect changes on the subsequent episodes of The Realms Remembered. Together, we can tweak this bad boy and make it the way we want to watch it and make everything as smooth as possible given current technology and the age of the person operating it. But that's all the other stuff. What we need to know now is, what is this story? What is The Realms Remembered? All you need to know for this particular episode is that 5 people were found around a town called The Bend. The Bend is located between Waterdeep to the north and Baldur's Gate to the south. It's right along the Sword Coast, equidistant between both, away from any hubs of civilization. It is a small town, large village, 1,200 souls. Its main purpose is the harvesting and the exporting of wheat and lavender. It's a simple town. Our characters and our players were found there. They've been asleep for several days, convalescing in a place where they are being cared for both mentally and physically by the Sisters of Captured Grace, the House of Amelioration. It is located inside the main building of the Bend, a huge pagoda. That's all they know. That's all you know. I know a little bit more, but I certainly don't know what these players are going to do. This is not on rails. This is not a command performance to do this and go there. This is a sandbox. We're going to drop these players in here and see what tale they tell. We're all along for the ride. I can't wait to share it with you and with them. So, without further ado, I think we should get this started. Let's go back to the realms.
Remember you told me I should watch out. You see not I will have a good intentions. So keep your eyes stretched and sharp your senses. I'm terrified that you'll lose direction. Just hold tight.
Welcome back, players, to The Realms Remembered. For the first time, we see everyone that we've met before on the same screen. But we will go around and I would like you to tell us who you are, who you'll be playing, and briefly describe these characters. Even though we have artwork from the fabulous Anna beside each of your frames, it's best to see them in the player's eyes as well. Summer, let's start with you.
I love going first. I am Summer, and I'm playing Roberts, she, her. She is a badass. She is about 5'6", 5'7", really lean. She dressed all in black. She generally has a pair of gloves on. Her hair is wild and tangled, with braids in it to keep it out of her face. She has makeup on, but it's kind of like perpetually smudged. And that's about it. She doesn't have any weapons. No, she doesn't look particularly dangerous. Maybe a little bit intimidating, but yeah, that's about it.
Fantastic. And as we have now seen Roberts through Summer's eyes and our art, we will do the same thing as we drop straight down to Billy. Billy, how are you doing, my friend? Who will you be playing? And give us a bit of a description of them.
Doing swell, compadre. I am playing Ulfzik or Ulfzark, however people choose to pronounce it. He is, he's a he, him. He's between 6'3" and 6'4", tall enough to stand out and be odd. He is sinewy, not a lot of mass or fat to him, but he has done a lot of work. Long red beard and curly red hair that sometimes may or may not flow out of the white fur that's on his head and the furs that he is adorned with. Fitted leather pants. And then his main standout feature are the fact that he does not have pupils. He has aqua blue, greenish, depending on the lighting and the environment, sclera. And that is all.
Fantastic. And we'll take a quick saunter right over to Don. Don, how are you, my friend? Who will you be playing tonight? And give him a bit of a breakdown.
I'm doing great. I'm very excited to be back here playing again. I will be playing Yuknon. Yuknon is 6'2". He's a half orc, and he's thin for a half orc, though he still has a pretty strong build. He is pale gray skin and deep, soulful ice blue eyes, 2 short white tusks, though one of the tusks looks like it's been violently broken off about halfway up. He's got a few battle scars from his face, despite the fact that he's actually pretty young looking. And he wears a fur cloak over top right now, a simple tunic and pants. He keeps his black hair wrapped up in a bandana. He also wears an amulet around his neck.
Fantastic, my friend. And finally, we go over to my friend Lauren. Lauren, how are you? And who will you be playing? And give us a bit of a description of them.
Doing just peachy. I am playing Bianca. She stands about 5'6", curvy, really pale with long waves of auburn hair. Looks a bit more put together than you'd expect for somebody who washed up on the beach. She wears a black chemise and black boots, and over that she has a short green leather overdress, choker necklace, and a headband of sorts with tiny green crystals. And her eyes, now that they are open, are also a little odd right now. Although she has pupils and whites now, they're very bright green, almost like if you would hold an emerald up to the light and look at it through jeweler's glass.
Fantastic. And so as the 4 have been described, I will do my best to place them where they are. You are currently in a white room, a room that you've experienced in Waking. It is very clean. It is fresh. There is a wind blowing through the open window that has been recently tapped by a branch that hit and struck one of the panes. And as you all turned to look and you saw the outside world and the paths your lives would take somewhere out there, you end up turning around and you end up looking at one another. And so when you do that, you meet the eyes as described, the players as dressed, and for the first time without the need for sleep, you all turn and stare at one another. Mechanically, my friends, you all have an advantage. You all also have 2 renown for being those people that have been found unconscious. You also have the aforementioned inspiration gifted to you by those wonderful people that retweeted. That is a D8. And you also have 1 level of exhaustion. Welcome to the realms.
Ulfzar opens his eyes and tries to gauge where he's at, and he recognizes somebody from a brief vision that he had when he punched a starry abomination, and he recognizes and coalesces the two visions, and he sees Roberts right in front of him. And he points his finger. You, I saw you in the vision. You are helming a ship. Do you helm ships?
Question: how much can we remember now about our pasts?
About the visions that happened in the preludes?
About just like everything.
Oh, you remember your recent past in the preludes, but you do not remember what you've remembered before during the course of the preludes about your history. You remember?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing new has arrived, though.
Cool. Yeah. Yes. I think so.
I don't have much else, but you looked pretty awesome.
Thank you.
Well, Ulfsark, are you going to make introductions then?
Oh, I'm Ulfsick. That is what.
Is it
people call
Ulfsick?
it.
I'm sorry. Pause everything, everyone. Hi. I thought it was Ulfsark.
That's how it's written, but saying it casually.
No, I'm asking this in character.
Yeah. No, it is. It's. I mean, you could say it how you like. I don't know. You're talking to me, but it's Ulfsick is.
Ulfsick.
Yeah.
Ulfsick.
Ulfzark. Ulfsick.
Ulfsick.
Sorry. You're Bianca, yes?
Yes. Hi.
Where are we?
Oh, I know. I remember. The Bend.
And why are we here? Why are you here?
I'm not particularly sure.
What did your grandma say? We washed up.
And they took us in, and now we're here. I don't know if they're keeping us here. If we need to.
Yuknon's eyes narrow on Ulfsick. The priestess is your grandmother?
What? My Ama came and she told me, she took me to like a memory of my home.
Yeah, the really suspicious one. This is Grandma.
Can you tell us more, perhaps, about what your grandmother does? I'm very confused about why I am here, how I am here, and I want answers.
Okay, I did not know her for long, to be honest, but she saved me from a pickle and allowed me to do things. And from that, we're here, and the rest between now and then seems kind of blurry. So I met her maybe when I was a boy. So everything from when I was a boy to now, it just seems it's all, I'm confused. It's all pieced together. I don't know anything else.
The woman that was here that was taking care of us, she didn't look like a grandmother to me.
I don't know what to tell you.
Are you related by blood?
I don't think so.
Maybe she was just keeping it tight.
I mean, technically by blood, yes, but I don't remember a lot of her from my childhood except for a couple moments that I just recently went through again.
Well, she should be somewhere around here. And Roberts will stand up to go look for Sister Chandra. Like,
You'd think
wouldn't leave us alone earlier.
Yeah, you'd think she'd be around here.
I don't think she's coming back.
No.
As soon as Roberts gets up out of bed, everyone roll a perception check for me.
At disadvantage because we have 1 level of exhaustion?
Sure.
Cool.
Thanks for remembering.
Yeah. Damn my memory.
Ulfzik, when Roberts jumps up off of, or swings up and stands up from her bed, you hear a very tiny, perhaps because of distance, perhaps because of pitch, but you hear a bell. Ding, 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 ding.
There was a bell. Now, sometimes that would mean that there's food ready. I don't know what this place uses bells for, but
Could be an alarm. Yuknon immediately pushes up to his feet and looks around for anything that looks like a weapon.
When Yuknon pushes up, you all can hear a slight bell go off.
That does seem like an alarm.
We've been held here against our will. Someone has been inside our minds for a reason we don't understand. I do not think we're safe here.
Well, we should go.
Yes, we should.
Ulfzik, because of your earlier perception roll, you're the first to actually see the body that this voice comes out of. Oh, they're awake! And you see a small halfling, she, her, and I'm going to always give you ages in human terms so you can just put those into the appropriate race ages. She would be late 50s. She is wearing simple white robes with an apron that's kind of half turned down. And she comes in and she's all of 3 feet tall. They're awake! They're awake! Her hair is tied up in a graying top knot that's kind of split like a fountain that frames her face.
Pardon me. Why is there bells going off because we are awake?
Oh, you've been asleep! And she comes over and she has this huge smile on her face. Are you well? Is everyone well? Is everyone well? And she's just looking from face to face of the taller folk.
How did the bells go off when we got out of bed?
Oh! And she goes over to one of the empty beds and she sits on it and then gets up. And when she gets up, you hear the ding-a-ding-a-ding. They're on the underside of the mattress.
Oh, that is impressive.
We were actually just about to leave.
Of course. Where are you going? We're also curious why you're here.
She kind of glances to the others and is like, we don't know why we're here.
But thank you for the beds and the bells.
Of course. And she turns and she's, my Sister Tasha Harfoot. And she lifts her hand up to anyone that will take it.
I'll take it.
Bianca's still in bed.
Your bell has not gone off then.
Yuknon kind of looks aside to Robert, and Robert's knowing that they've both had some. He doesn't know what the other two have experienced yet, but they've had some shady experiences. And he looks back at the halfling and he says, "Are you telling me that you don't know why we're here either?"
I'm afraid not. No, you've been asleep this time. We were fearing the worst. We didn't know if you were ensorcelled or cursed. I dare say we probably had some more fantastical theories. Probably my fault.
You said you're a sister.
Yes, a sister of captured grace.
And who exactly does your order worship?
We don't have a particular god. We heal the mind and the body. Some things magic cannot cure, and we like to think that we help.
I would like to insight check that.
Sure, absolutely.
And I would like to spend an advantage.
To make it even, Steven?
Normal.
Okay.
Right.
Inside the
Yes.
shit out of her, Dawn.
Get her. Get her good.
Get her.
14.
She seems excited about being truthful. She doesn't seem to be lying.
Who wouldn't be? Question. Sorry. Hi. The tall boys are blocking me a bit. Hello.
Hello!
Hi. Hi. So, in fact, we were ensorcelled.
You were.
Yeah.
At this point, another a halfling she/her comes in with a hood up on a very similar robe to what Sister Tasha is wearing, and you see a dwarf he/him come in wearing robes similar but with the hood down. His head is shaven and his beard is braided in about 18 different strands. They just start looking at you all and then at Sister Tasha. Ensorcelled. They were ensorcelled.
Yeah, we were ensorcelled by one of you people.
Sister Chandra. Does that name sound familiar to you?
Ooh, smart cookie.
They are all looking at one another. Perhaps everyone should sit down, but get some water. Fetch some water. Fetch some water. Art.
Can someone please just answer the question?
You see the halfling kind of move away. Yes, there is no Sister Chandra. Perhaps you heard one of Sister Tasha? Sister Art? Brother
No,
Ben?
I don't think so. No.
No, we didn't miss here. There's no seawater still lodged in here.
Greg, these priestesses that we're seeing now, are they dressed exactly like Sister Chandra? Do they look like the same order that she was a part of?
Sister Chandra had no defined or discernible signs of divinity, no holy symbols or anything of that nature. Neither do any of the, Brother Ben, Sister Odd, or Sister Tasha. They all just appear to be wearing very simple white robes. Sister Tasha has the apron that's folded half over.
Are we free to go?
Of course. Ben, fetch their things. He runs off. Yeah, you may stay. You are welcome to stay as long as you wish. We are curious, but that is for us. We want to make sure that you're okay. You've been asleep a long time. Usually that means it's not good when you sleep that much.
You said that you fix the mind and the body.
Yes.
I feel like I'm missing pieces, memories. Can you fix that?
Well, yes, we talk here. If you... Sister Art could help you. She's very good with things that we want to forget. I'm sure she would talk with you and help you to address and find these things that you're forgetting. We would all help you. It does not cost anything. We know that you don't have any money, but it's a service. It's nothing to give us for it.
She looks over at Yuknon because this is important to her.
Yugnon's already standing at the door waiting for his things, but when he sees Robert's look over at him, I think he would understand that look of importance in her eyes. And he gives a slow nod of his head and just kind of barely lets out, "We can stay for a little while, but no water and no food unless it's from an outside source.
Sister,
For me, at least."
Sister Tasha's in here by herself at the moment, and she's looking, trying to find another member of her order to kind of lock eyes with. Of course, there's plenty to eat and drink in the village. The well water is free. You can always have something to eat here. I'm sorry that you're suspicious of us.
How long have you been here?
Have I? I've been here 30 years.
Is that your whole life?
Oh, no, but it's the part of it that counts.
It's what do you enjoy the most about this place?
Talking with people and helping them, and I dare say past few days has been the closest I've ever been to a book. 5 strangers found and put under my care, and you're all so exotic and...
Sorry to interrupt you, love. 5?
Yes. He woke up, he's a priest. He's somewhere in the village, I believe, or...
She drops her head back on the pillow and lets out a very beleaguered sigh.
What's that reaction for?
Ulfie, when we were asleep, she looks up and looks at Tasha like don't listen to me, but she's not gonna tell her to leave. I got a message. Your grandma didn't make it into my treasure vault. Oh, that sounds like a different euphemism. She didn't root around in my mind.
I don't think she does that kind of thing.
And that's literally what she was doing. It's actually exactly what was happening.
We'll agree to disagree.
No. I mean, there's facts.
Okay.
Right. So, I was told something about a priest while we were in there together.
What did they tell you? I'm trying to connect the dots here, but
It's save the priest, which is weird enough for me because I don't like priests, and usually they're saving others, or they think they are.
They said save the priest, so is this the one that we save?
At this moment, Sister Ott, the halfling, comes back in and, as commanded, has a tray with a pitcher of water on it and a loaf cut in half. And as soon as she appears, Sister Tasha goes, and Sister Ott just turns around and walks right back out. And Brother Ben
growls a little.
Brother Ben comes in, and he has 4 very kind of nondescript, almost larger than coin pouches, but they're made of burlap. And he looks through them. You? And he hands it to Roberts. We not sure if that was yours or not, but the other ones had stuff on them. This was just by you. And then hands a burlap sack to Yuknon. Hands one to Ulfsik. And looks over. And Bianca, are you still in bed?
Absolutely.
He comes over and kind of puts it on the bed and taps the bed, and you hear a slight jingle of a bell. That's, I think, yours. It was messy when they found you.
It was messy?
Have you? And he looks back at Sister. Have you told him the two of you? And he points towards Yuknon and Roberts. They found you washed up on the beach, and the two of you. And he points towards Bianca and Ulfzik. They found you by the river in that old lean-to shack. You're dirty as hell. We cleaned most of the stuff up.
What about the fifth?
What? Found him in the middle of the village. Right in the middle of town. He's laying like in a big X. Someone said we should dig under him. They might be treasure, but that was a poor joke.
She'll open the little wrapping.
Inside, you find what appears to be a die. Like a crude lead 6-sided die.
Great.
Yuknon will shake his and open his as well.
It contains a trinket that I believe you recognize.
Mhm.
I'll take mine and put it out in the bed.
I'm opening mine.
You see a trinket kind of fall out. You recognize it immediately.
I pick it up and with the leather straps, bind it to my wrists.
Bianca, when you shake yours and it falls out, you see on what looks to be a rough-hewn piece of bark, it is a burned and rather intricate carving of 3 crowns. Oh, and Ben goes back, and you hear a sing as he pulls this massive sword from around the corner hallway into the room. This one's yours? And he looks up at Yuknon.
Yuknon slowly reaches out to take the hilt of the sword, or blade, which is entirely made out of bone. He easily lifts it up. It's all right, thank you.
You're welcome.
How'd you know it was his? Was it with him, or did you just assume it because he's tall?
He was holding on to it.
Yeah, fair enough.
My money was on her until we saw his other hand on it. And he points to Roberts. He was holding it and she was holding him.
Do you two know each other? Besides, what we were talking about.
We just met.
Yes.
Cool.
Those are completely different answers.
Mm-hmm. I noted.
And what I was just going to say, Ben is looking back and forth, hearing both, and Sister Tasha is looking at him, and they're looking at you, and you can see that there's a verbal betting system going on between the three, Sister Ott, Sister Tasha, and Brother Ben. They've all cast their wager, so to speak, on who you all are, and at certain answers, certain people were winning among the three, and then they get blasted when something switches up.
I think Robert just rolls her eyes a little bit and she's like, we know each other fairly well for people who just met.
Oh, Sister Tasha. The halfling comes over and bends down and whispers into Sister Tasha's ear. Oh, my word. You are free to leave, but Ironbender would like to see you. He's meditating. He'll be free in... What time is it? An hour's time. It's just not a command performance. It's a courtesy. He's in charge of the band, and he wished to see you whenever you woke up.
Where is he meditating?
And they all three look up. He's on the roof. But we can't.
This building?
Yes, we can't. We can. We shouldn't bother him until he's finished. He's very difficult to stir.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you so much for your assistance. I appreciate your time.
If you need to sleep or eat or anything, we are here. We will clean your sheets and keep your beds ready. And if you need anything, please just don't hesitate. And all three of them are just nodding. Oh, please.
Great. Bianca finally swings herself out of bed with the bark in her hand, and she's putting that back into the bag and kind of walks past everyone. If it helps your betting pool, I think I'm a king. And she just walks out the door.
You see the halfling go, huh? Like that's what she had guessed. But. Bianca is gone.
When she said betting pool, is that the kind of pool you can swim in? What kind is it?
No, Sister Tasha says, we were also curious, so we told each other stories about you all over dinner and breakfast and lunch and in passing, and we made up tales that we believed to be right. There's little to do here, and we maybe got carried away.
Oh, well, what story did you come up with for me?
Oh, and Ben steps forward. We said that you were half man, half bear, and that you had come down from the hills looking for blood, and you had stumbled upon the queen over there, and you were getting ready to do something, and she released her magics, and you're both asleep. That was my guess.
I like that one.
I liked it too.
And then I'm gonna go out the door, follow Bianca. Thank you.
Welcome. Yuknon and Roberts.
I guess we'll be back in an hour.
Very well. Yuknon sheathes his sword through like this simple wrap over his back that's part of his cloak. Where do you wish to go?
I would like to know why the five of us all woke up here. Could follow the others for now.
I believe they know more than they've told us.
It's wise not to discuss these things around strangers.
Yes, I agree.
And she'll walk out after the two of them.
He gives a mean eye over his shoulder back to the half-elves before he steps out of the room.
They all look at one another. Sister
Where are you
Tasha,
crazy kids going?
yeah, Sister Tasha maintains a smile, but it's definitely one that's kind of forced in the face of this like glare. And so as you all walk out, you descend 3 floors through a beautiful pagoda. You can see that the whole place is very Spartan, sparsely decorated, smelling of teak wood. Every bit of the exposed wood shines with a fresh oil. Every screen of paper is free of stain or smudge. And as you reach the main level, the doors are open and they reveal the village and the town of the Bend in front of you.
Yuknon will just kind of step out to his cloak.
Cause after all, the city never sleeps at night. It's time to begin, isn't it? I get a little bit bigger, but then I'll admit I'm just the same as I was. Now
So as you all walk out, you are greeted with the sights and sounds and smells of the Bend. And as you look out, you can see that it is late fall with a hint of it on the ocean breeze. The oaks and maples visible have begun to turn a hue different than green, casting oranges and reds and yellows throughout the landscape. A well-tended lawn and accompanying gardens kind of peel away down a slow hill from the pagoda itself, and it hits with a town of just about 1,200 souls. Now, this space seems to act as a park for the community. Currently, several dozen townsfolk are gathered and seem to be staring at a raised stage or a large dais. A knight and his squire kneel off to the right, their heads bowed in prayer, and upon the stage, a priest or cleric seems to be giving a sermon to break the dawn. James, welcome, my friend, and obviously tell us who you are, who you'll be playing, and give us a description of James.
I will be playing James. He is a cleric. He is a priest of Ogma. He is a fairly even keel man, very kind, but he has a fighter in him. He is probably 6 foot to 6'1" in between. He's slender. He has lost weight than what he is probably used to being at, but he is still wiry and strong. He has very deep eyes and very fixed when he is focused on things. He has dark hair, and normally would have it short, but now somehow his hair has grown long and is in a ponytail, and he has a beard, which probably goes down to about here.
Fantastic. And with that description, Brother James is revealed not only to the other PCs, but to the crowd at large. This crowd is silent and attentive. A few sip hot drinks as they listen, the steam rising from the cups in the cool air. Children are, for the most part, wide-eyed and silent, not sure what they are seeing or what they are about to hear. It is a rarity that a holy person of any kind comes to the Bend, let alone takes the time to speak to them. Some of the villagers kneel, arms outstretched, looking heavenward. Some clasp their hands, eyes pinched tight as they mutter in prayer. And as the rest of the PCs come in, you see this priest on this dais and this stage surrounded by the populace, or portion thereof, of the Bend. And it is during this time that the priest begins to speak.
Harlan was a simple man, a good man, but a simple one. Harlan grew up in a community much like this. But Harlan was overlooked. Harlan was given menial tasks by almost all that he knew. But Harlan had a desire to gain knowledge in almost any circumstance. Even the most menial of details Harlan would attempt to learn. On a lumber job one day, Harlan was attacked by wolves, and Harlan was bedridden. Harlan was still overlooked and unnoticed, but he began to learn. He began to teach himself to read, to write. He began to try to grow. But most of the people in the community did not pay one mind to Harlan, except for one. His name was Ogma, the Lord of Knowledge. Ogma appeared before Harlan and told Harlan, "I have much for you to do, and I wish to seek you to be my seeker." And he touched Harlan, and Harlan's mind opened, and he was enlightened with wisdom and knowledge. As Harlan began to learn and grow, he took it upon himself to teach others knowledge, wisdom. He took time for those that probably did not have much time. Harlan continued on, and much like Harlan, your community has grown. They wanted to know the flow of the people. Generation after generation is going to be born here. These unique kinds of relationship and bonds are very common in towns like this. It is through history and love that the share of one another, no matter what time it is. The farmers will need to teach others to farm. The bakers will need to teach their skills to bake. Hunters must teach to hunt. But you get the point. Teaching other young ones is essential. Building the foundation with the youth is to prove the legacy of the band will endure for 20 years, 30 years, and 50 years to come. The road will not be easy. Strife may come to your door, but your level of togetherness and knowledge will tell the tale. So as time goes, these streets will be filled with love. As this community grows and you accept more willing parties will join this community, and your strength and will resolve in your community. So the farmers will farm, the fishermen will fish, the hunters will hunt, the beholders will behold. Well, maybe not that. So though you may not meet Ogma, the Lord of Knowledge, know that the humble seeker before you was sent out to seek and spread the knowledge and wisdom from the Ogmin Temple in Neverland, and more specifically by the High Priest Harlan Alt. I would ask that you pray, and pray to whatever Lord you worship. I will pray to Ogma, binder of what is known. We ask that you spread your song through the hollow fields and grant your stories to the rivers and the trees. Guide us with wisdom, so that the wisdom can be passed from soul to soul. Build upon your knowledge and restore our faith in divine glory. We ask that the waves wash us ashore, that the mountains bring life anew. May the municipal of royalty meet the salt of Faroon, and common ground be found. Please allow tolerance of all races, to elves on high, dwarves down below, to the misunderstood elves, to the misunderstood orcs, excuse me. Please allow tolerance of all gender and sex. Please allow togetherness and peace. Teach us to share the beauty and the peace of the story of Faroon. Please allow to remember who those that came before though and will come after. If evil and power does not bring its misfortune, give thee strength, give thee purpose, give thee wisdom, give thee heart to face such atrocities. For your words, Binder, we are the people of the realm. And he kind of just like spreads out.
Give yourself another deep 8 of inspiration, buddy.
Thank you.
And as everyone sees this going on, there are in fact a few among the crowd who turn to one another and place hands on shoulders, nod and embrace and shake their hands, and farmers shaking the hands of farmers, hunters shaking the hands of hunters, and then hunters shaking the hands of farmers, as the entire community realizes that the words of the Ogman priest are true, and that the bend is what they make it. And the children
Go ahead, sir.
I was going to say, the children themselves seem to know the weight of your words, and they will remember.
James comes off the dais, and he begins to not like a politician, but more of he individualizes. He clasps shoulders on farmers and asks them, how are they doing? How are their crops? He bends down to the children and kind of shoots up a little sacred flame to show that he's like bouncing back and forth between his fingers, to show that he's, trying to just amuse everyone. And this is not the first time that James has woken up to places that he's not familiar with, but he is familiar with this place. So he begins to just kind of get his bearings. And he's trying to recognize people, though it would be difficult.
You see a girl with green eyes glaring at you as she stalks towards you.
Hello?
Hi.
Have we met before?
I don't know. Have we?
No, we have not met before, in my knowledge. I'm
Is-
Brother James.
That's fantastic. Good for you. Have you told that parable before? Is it well known?
It is well known.
She's like,
Harlan Alt is well known, though you
Mhm.
probably have not met Harlan. Yes, it is well known.
she's pretty close to him, and she's like looking in his eyes to see if they're weird.
James smiles. He says, "Listen. Now, quick question, did I see the four of them in the bed?"
You would now recognize them as being animated and not slumbering.
It is good to see you woke up.
Are all priests this sketchy? This is two in a row.
James laughs. He said, "Yeah, some are sketchy. But
Someone told me to save you. I'm reconsidering it
someone
based
told
on
you-
your parable.
Who told you to save me?
An angel?
An angel.
Yep.
What was the angel's name?
Why? Do you know many angels? Or are you likely to get one confused with another?
I've known demons and angels."
Like
And he
real
kinda
ones,
winks-
or are you
he kinda-
talking metaphorically?
He kind of winks at her. He says, "I don't know anybody here. I don't know why you would need to save me, though appear to be in the same boat, as they say. I've just awoken as well. But I've been here before. Though briefly."
I've heard that story
Which-
recently.
What story?
The one about Harlan. Is it Harlan or Harland?
It's Harlan.
Great. That one. I've heard it.
You would like him.
I don't know.
So I assume that you are not from around here.
No. What gave it away?
I could just tell. But it is nice to meet you.
The rest of you, with this tense
James
exchange,
looks over his shoulder at the rest of them coming.
you'd recognize them all. The half-orc, the human, and the bearded human are both coming towards you.
Yeah, Roberts is lingering back a little bit. As soon as like Bianca basically stormed away towards him, like aggressively, that's when she kind of stopped. Like, I'm just gonna watch what's going on here.
James puts his hands up. "I'm just a harmless priest. My name is James." And he kind of like does a bow.
I think Yugnon probably started by watching some of the sermon that he observed pretty harshly. That same like hard look that he had in his eyes when he was looking at the halflings. But there's some point in the sermon, in the story, that affects Yuknon, and he actually has to kind of like look down and look away for a moment, and then he looks up to the sky. You said this is evening. Is it clear skies outside?
It's actually 8 a.m. It's
8 a.m.
just past dawn.
Okay.
Yes, so it's and it's crystal clear. It's beautiful. There are a few clouds. The morning fog has burned off, probably hazing it just a bit, but you're very close to the water here, and you can smell the ocean, and there's a perpetual breeze that's kind of buffeting even what remains of the long black hair that peeks out of the bandana that Yuknon wears.
Can James make a perception that if he's still dreaming or not?
Absolutely, and I will let you all know now that your level of exhaustion is gone.
Pretty good roll.
You feel as awake as one can feel that they are awake, meaning that this is how you've perceived reality before. So you may have questions as of recent events, but this seems to be the normal. I would also like to take this moment in the action to let you all know that Sphinx donated for you all to receive raspberry berets. So good vibrations, which means everyone will get a feat or an item to use for the rest of the adventure. It is permanent. So we will be discussing this afterwards, and we'll see exactly what your raspberry beret is, but this is a huge boon that can be used from this point forward. And I will also let you know that at some point Hawk will be joining us for 2 episodes in our adventure as we travel through the realms. But with that, James, yes, this seems like reality to you.
James, so this is the bend that he, quote unquote, knows. He kind of leans in and says, listen, I've been with, I can all tell that you are special people. And I have been with people before. I can see that you're mistrusting, but these people, I've been here before. And it is a very safe community. Actually, they're quite defenseless for the most part. Except for, and he points at where Ironbender would be, except for him up there. And he is a good man too.
How did you end up here?
I awoken apparently in the street, they said, or I awoken in the bed and I was on the street. The last thing that I remember, and James does not lie, I was in a bar in Waterdeep, and that's where I'm going to head. So, quick question, one more thing, Jeej. Time, did James would ask, because things are probably not quite right. He asks what year this is.
Yeah, absolutely. If you have asked it previously or you ask it now.
He would ask that previously, probably.
Okay, yeah, you are told that right now this is 1454, Year of the Emerald Sun.
Okay.
It is currently the 9th day of the Lent, which is the fading. It is 12 days before the autumn equinox, 21 days before high harvest tide. It's essentially September in the realms.
Does that sound right to the rest of us?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Give or take, I mean, you've got a gap in your recent memories and this, but
Right.
it's technically the same year, you know, and not like any more than a month or so.
Right.
But you just it seems right. You don't automatically think you like Rip Van Winkle or anything, but yeah, it seems right to everyone else.
I plan on returning to where the last place I remember. If this is still the same place and all of that.
Sister Chandra. Chandra, do you remember her?
No, I do not know Sister Chandra. Was she one of the sisters that took care of us, I'm assuming? I did not catch all their names.
Was there a woman who made you remember things, made you think about things you have not thought about in a long time?
I pretty much remember everything. I have a pretty good memory, so no, I did you experience something like visions and stuff?
Something like that.
And he kind of turns to, I'm James.
Roberts.
Yuknon looks, oh, sorry. He looks really anxious. James is making him very anxious.
Can James pick up on insight check to make sure that he's, yeah.
You can insight if you'd like, yeah.
Yeah, I'll insight you.
The relationship is too fresh. You're not sure what you're reading off of Yuknon.
I did not experience anything out of the ordinary other than I woke up. And that's all I can say.
Where exactly in the street were you found?
Had they showed me,
You would know that it was down in the town square. Technically, the bend doesn't have a square per se, since the middle of the town is the pagoda, but it does have a meeting place that they just call the town square. That's where you were found, by the main well.
The center of town, where they get their water. Believe me, I have a lot of questions as well.
Did they mention, did you materialize? Did you fall out of the sky?
I'm assuming I just appeared, probably. That'd be my guess.
Brother James, you were told that when somebody went out to get water in the early morning, they saw you lying there and believed you to be intoxicated until they did not recognize you and you did not stir. The Sisters of Captured Grace were informed of where you were, and they came and collected you and took you up to the pagoda.
I was apparently unconscious in the street, and they took me to the beds where you four were as well, I suppose. When I woke, you were all asleep.
They said we were found in a shack by the river and we were dirty. They said you two washed up on shore.
Beach. All 5 of us near some source of water.
Good point. Maybe we should revisit these places, might stir some memories.
We have some time. You said we were close to the beach, right?
You're very close to the
water?
beach. Yep.
Obviously, we don't know exactly where we were found, but we could walk down to the shore.
Yes.
One more thing. And before I awoke, I don't want to use the word more powerful, but I could do more things. Now it does not seem that I'm almost like I've started over again.
Interesting. I'm certainly physically weaker than I was. It's very annoying.
I remember having more things, like weapons of some sort. Now I don't have anything, really, except for personal effects.
I as well.
Huh. Did we all want to go to the beach and see what we could remember?
Why don't we walk by the well, since we're close? Go down to the beach. We're supposed to go see the fiddler on the roof or whatever in an hour.
You will like Iron Tender.
Is that really his name?
From what I'm told.
Is he like buff?
You have to meet him. It's been a while since I've seen him.
How long were you here?
Two days, 3 days maybe. Not long.
We should go.
Yes. And Yugnon kind of pats at his belt. Do we have like any money? Are we broke? Do we have anything besides what they gave us and the clothes in our bags?
You have the clothes on your backs. You have the effects that were given to you. Whether or not they're yours, they were given to you. The burlap sack that they came in. Thus ends your inventory lists.
Cool.
James turns and kind of claps on the villagers, and that would still be there.
One of the villagers comes up and he has a hat folded, and he comes up and opens it up. And Steve, roll me 2d20. Roll me a d20 twice.
Roll your d20 twice.
Please. He comes forward with his hat in his hand and, brother, for you. And he beckons you to kind of like cup your hands.
And he does.
He pours 19 silver pieces into your hands. Thank you. And he puts his hat on and he
He
walks.
stops and says, "Where did you get this from?"
From us, brother, from the town. Your words, we remember them always. And
I'm not going to take this. I appreciate as much as he kind of goes. I humbly appreciate this. You need this more than I do.
it's from all of us. It's from the whole town. No one gave more than they could.
I will give that to my 4 friends here. All I need is a little bit of water. I appreciate that, your sacrifice.
He pulls his own skin. It's fresh from the well. Here.
And he claps him, and he gives him a little guidance, and like to make him believe that he's, really done something well. Kind of hits him with guidance.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bless
Thank you. And he kind of like James turns and says, "Well," and he kind of puts it at Bianca. It's a start.
Thank you. This will buy almost nothing, but thank you.
You have 19 silver pieces,
James
Yeah,
laughs.
yeah, I do.
which is
Putting it in my
almost
inven-
2 gold pieces.
I know it is.
You can split that with the other 3 as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a genius, but I don't think she's going to split it with all of us.
Yes, I am. Look, I'll do it right now in front of you.
And-
Not miserly. That's a lie. That is a lie. That's a
And-
lie.
James kind of says to, sorry, I'm James. And he kind of waves at Ulsik.
Ulsik is
James.
my name. Thank you for having a name with 1 syllable.
That's the only name I've ever known.
To the whale, then is that what we want to do? The whale or the beach?
The well, because it's like right over there.
Oh, okay, then. Mr. James, if you would lead the way to the whale.
Of course.
It takes you but just a few moments, and you are at the well in the town center, and you see people rushing about, getting ready for their days. You see farmers heading out in various directions. It is a working community, and work has begun. You quickly identify the well. It's a pretty prominent structure. It is a deep well because of it being so close to the ocean. It has frequent use. There are multiple bucket drops. There appears to be some beginnings of a sluice. It's constantly in use, but James, you're able to see that there is a area about 10 feet away from the well that they indicate was where they found you in an X position.
Here's where they found me. They said I was in an X position. I don't know if that meant that was it potentially like pointing at something, or just they didn't say.
You technically weren't there.
Okay, yeah, gotcha.
All right. Try lying down.
You want me to lie down?
Mm-hmm.
Jim says, "Okay, sure."
I'm sorry, how is this going to help our memories?
Maybe
Jay gets down the dirt.
We're retracing our steps.
But he says he remembers everything.
No, he doesn't. He says he remembers everything and he has no idea how he got here. So he doesn't really remember this part, just what he was told.
When James lies down, everyone roll an investigation check. Roberts, and actually it would be Roberts because James is lying down. Roberts, you would notice that as James is lying down, he's not directly lined up with anything, but as he forms the X, you realize that one of his hands is pointing towards the ocean.
Yep. She's just kind of watching towards the back of the group. It does look like he's pointing towards the ocean.
Ooh. I wonder if there's any chance his other arm is pointing toward the river.
Would I know where the river is?
You would not, but
Yeah.
presumably any of these townsfolk might.
Oi! Anybody. I don't care who.
There are 3 people walking by. 2 of them do the New York "I didn't hear you, I'm walking faster" move. When you yell "oi," they just... And the third turns and looks at you. Human, she, her, maybe early 60s? Yes, dear.
Hi, excuse me. Where's the river? Which direction?
Odd. And points in the loose direction of James's other hand. Up there, the river winding.
Lovely.
She looks very proud of herself. Thank you.
Welcome.
Hey.
Bianca goes and leans over the well and looks down.
It's as dark as you would think, and it's very deep, to the point where even with the new fresh day's light, you have a difficult time seeing anything beyond 25, 30 feet down.
I'm gonna begrudgingly take one of the silver coins, and flip it in my hands and cast light on it, and then drop it down.
Okay. It drops down. You probably guess it drops, and you start seeing shadows that would kind of cast it as a rough hewn, almost like a naturally occurring cistern at some point. And it drops for over 100 feet, and then splunk. You still see the glow, albeit very distant.
The ocean?
Sure.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Okay, so as you begin to walk towards the ocean, following whatever path you require, perhaps it's James's hand or just your own instincts to move towards the water. As you exit the quick line of homes that surround the hill that Ironbender's pagoda is on, as you exit this area, you come towards the break between the village proper and the cliff's edge that leads down to the narrow beach. But as you are walking forward, you see a massive tree. It is a great sugar maple. It stands near the edge of the cliff overlooking the sea, its yellowing leaves creating a vibrant contrast to the grass and lavender, and a fine complement to the golden hues of the wheat. A small child, human, he, him, maybe 9 years old, is hugging the tree fiercely.
Just hugging it, not saying anything.
You're a little too far away, but you're going to pass by.
The country's weird.
And I guess if we're passing by, I'll try to listen in.
You
Just
want-
to hear.
If you want to listen in, roll a perception check.
Sure. 12.
10.
Anybody over a 10 hears the following. You hear the little boy say, "From the moment I could talk, I was ordered to listen. Now there's a way. I know I have to go away. I know I have to go." And you hear a booming voice, comforting and slow. "You're still young. That's your fault. There's so much you have to know. Find a friend. Settle down. If you want, you can marry. Look at me. I am old, but I am happy. I don't want to go to school, Bircheye. You're my best friend, and the others make fun of me." "I will always be your best friend, kid. And I shall always be here. Get to school early. Take a seat on the bench closest to the window. I shall stretch my branches high enough so you can see them, and we can be together." Do you think that'll work? You see the great tree lean down. A branch comes forward and a yellow leaf wipes the boy's eyes. "I know it. Now, hurry along before someone takes your spot." The little boy runs off towards you, kind of looking strangely at the fact that he doesn't recognize your faces. "I'll see you after school." And you see the tree wave. "I'll be here." And
So you said over 10.
Yeah, 10 or over, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Oh, great.
Okay.
Robert stopped walking when that started happening.
Got to. Yeah, that was the boy runs past us.
Mm-hmm.
Yuknon would give the boy a smile. It's probably the first time he's smiled since he's woken up today.
Roll a persuasion check.
His speciality.
Roberts is walking towards the tree.
You see the boy identified as Kit look way up. And for a moment, there's that eye-widening fear with the broken tusk and the half-orc countenance. But the boy smiles and, "Hello!" And then he runs past.
He just barely lets out before the boy runs away. "Hello." That's it.
Roberts is going right up to the tree.
What is she going to the tree for?
No idea. I thought we were going to the water.
Do you speak to everyone or just children?
I speak to everyone that will listen.
You can see down to the shore, can't you?
I can.
And do I look familiar?
You are the one from the sea.
Yes. We don't know what came before. Exactly. Could you see us far out? Or just on the beach?
The waves brought you. You were below.
We should have drowned, maybe.
Perhaps.
How? How do you speak?
I am awoken.
By what?
I do not know.
She just nods a little bit and takes a couple steps back. We're going down to the shore now.
Will you return to the sea?
I hope. She looks at the others, starts walking down.
Yuknon turns and follows.
James walks over to the tree as they go. He'll let them get out of the beach. He'll catch up. Any tales from each tree?
Yours are not yet written.
Grow tall and sturdy. And he kind of turns and follows them down to the beach.
It takes you a while because the beach is actually about 80 feet down, and it's a narrow strip of rock and white sand. But you're able to get down there. There's frequent travel from the village to the beach. And when you get down there, there's the crashing of waves, and the great sea of swords extends and expands in front of you. You know, somewhere to the west, the Moonshay Isles, but they cannot be seen from this vantage point.
Ulsik will lay behind, not follow everyone down to the shore, and approach the tree and put his hand on the bark and like explore some of the crevices in the bark with his fingers, and then smell the tree to kind of gain his particular scent, and then just silently regard it, and then walk to the beach.
You can't tell, there's no face on the tree, but you can tell that it regards you as well.
Is this a sandy beach or a rocky beach?
Half rock, half white sand.
Pretty much the moment that she gets down to the sand, she starts to take off her boots to walk down into the ocean.
Okay.
Yuknon takes off his boots, but he doesn't go all the way down to the ocean. He kind of stays up that bank where it's just out of reach of the tide. And he looks out for a moment over, and then he looks around to see if there's anything he remembers about this place at all.
Roll a perception check. You don't remember anything about this spot. This is a brand new spot as far as your mind is concerned, as far as your awareness and your comprehension of the situation. However, as you look around, you see something that doesn't match. It's up beyond the break that you are currently standing on. It's on the blind side, and it seems to be kind of flipping around in the breeze.
In the sand itself?
If you're on the last break, like the final break before, this is on the blind side of that, away from the sea.
Okay. I guess he'll while Roberts is walking down to the ocean, he'll walk to that thing that catches his attention.
Well, as you're walking over this break, mostly sand, leaving large footprints behind as you walk towards it, what are Ulfsik and Bianca doing? Right now, James is coming down to meet the rest of you, but you two should be here as well. What will you be doing?
He's soaking everything in with his senses. He's not paying attention or looking for any particular thing. Just, he's not by the beach very often. So that feeling you get when you've had a hard decade and your friend invites you to the beach, and you go to the beach and you breathe it in and appreciate the wind in your fingers and the kind of air through your nostrils, into your face, into your hair, and there's a growth of appreciation for the environment.
Bianca?
Bianca's never, I don't think, seen the sea. So she, as it finally comes into view, she sits down cross-legged and kind of rests her elbows on her knees and puts her chin in her hands and just kind of looks out. She's not sure she likes it yet, but it's different.
Once James gets down there, he stops and sits on a rock, and he starts watching the four of them, just how they react to everything. He just kind of stays back and lets them do their thing and just observes.
Just for observation's sake, go ahead and roll me an insight, and we'll get back to what you see. We'll use that as a general observation of everyone. Roberts, you are descending into the sea. What do you plan to do?
She leaves her boots up on the sand out of the range of the waves and walks in, not stopping when the water hits her pants, and just keeps going until she's about up to like mid-chest. And she holds her hands out and lets them float on the waves as they come up and over her. And she closes her eyes and says under her breath, "I remember you. I don't remember much, but I remember you. Just help me, give me something, anything. There's something I'm missing." She's just got her eyes closed, trying to remember.
Roll a D100. The water's warm, warmer than it should be for this time of year, but it's comforting in its silence. But there are no answers, not from the sea, not today.
After she waits for a little bit and doesn't get anything, she just drops at her knees and sinks down below the ocean. Just kind of sits beneath the waves for a moment.
Roll me a perception check. Don, as Yuknon is going over the dune, when you get there, you see it from about 8 feet away. You see yellow flower petals caught in the wind, and they swirl and reset. Caught in the wind, swirl and reset.
He steps slowly towards that small vortex, just watching them with his eyes. He hesitates his hand just before he imagines they'll turn in that circle. And then he holds his breath and he just tries to reach out and preciously pluck one of those petals out of the air.
Roll a sleight of hand. You feel the pads of your fingers touch, and at first you don't think you have anything, but when you look down just by the very edge, you have one of the petals.
He takes it and he just smells it for a moment and holds it in his palm.
It's not dry. It feels like it has just come off of the flower. It's pliable. It's alive still.
Does this doesn't look, I'm imagining this doesn't seem like a natural phenomenon, even though it smells real and it feels real. The fact that they keep falling back into the same place and then picking up and then falling back into the same place.
I'll let you roll a nature or arcana.
He's really good at both of those things. No, he's not. Well, he's going to reach out with his heart, and we'll call that arcana.
It seems odd, but you're holding one. It just could be a swirl, a dust devil that is playing with these flowers over and over again. These are the Forgotten Realms. There's 100 explanations.
He keeps his hand folded up, his fingers pressing the petal flat against his palm. He glances out once across the beach to kind of see where everyone else is. And James is sitting pretty close to James, just sitting on a rock. He'd slowly go to James then after that.
Yuknon, correct?
Yes, I'm Yuknon. And he turns and sits down. So now he's also kind of just peering out over the beach next to James.
It's beautiful here, isn't it?
Yes, I like the ocean. Many places in this world are beautiful, but this is one of them.
You seem troubled.
I shouldn't be here. I suspect none of us should be here.
But we are. We are here. So apparently we are.
You like stories, James.
Oh, I do like stories.
And you use stories to teach lessons to those who would listen to your words, to give them what wisdom you may.
Yes, when I first started, was my goal, to seek out and teach and gain knowledge. But over the years, it's changed. I've had to become something I did not want to be, and you lose sight of your dreams. But yes, I do love a good story, and I do love telling a good story.
Do you interpret stories well? Their meaning?
I'm not the sharpest sword in the blacksmith shop, but I can certainly try if you ever need to talk.
He closes his eyes and bows his head a little bit. And you can see that he's got that petal between his thumb and his forefinger. I can see...
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I can see a shack, window broken, hole in the wall. The hearth still lit. The bed still slept in. It was a hard winter and then a better spring. The maid, Henrietta, she took care of me. I would play pranks on her, call her name when I did not need her. Hide. I remember the smell of the flowers that spring. It had rained, and the rain came through the roof, wet the stairs, leading from the second story to the first story. I hid outside the house and called up the window, hoping she would look out the window and see me in the bushes. She saw me and she slipped. Henrietta fell from the window, and then she rose, and then she fell, and then she rose. What do you make of that story, James?
I think that you feel guilty about something. I think that you maybe want to take something back that you did wrong or you did right, or something that you wish you could do over. You cannot regret those kind of things. I tell you, there's a lot of things that we do in life that we regret, that we wish we could do over. Things we could say, but all we can do is go forward. And you remember these things. It sounded like a pleasant place where you lived, even though it was difficult. It sounded beautiful the way you described it. You are quite the storyteller.
He opens his eyes and he kind of looks back out over the water again. He says, "It wasn't my story. It wasn't my memory. I just never understood why she fell and why she rose again and why she fell again.
The world is a mysterious place."
That it is. I hope I can trust you, James.
He kind of like, James is like, you can trust me. Can I trust you?
I don't know. And he just kind of closes his hand over that pedal and just goes quiet and just watches the ocean.
That'll be good enough.
Roberts, what did you roll in your perception check as you are doing Stranger in a Strange Land at the bottom of this ocean a bit?
21.
You see a large spiral shell beside you.
I take it.
It's beautiful.
When I come back up above the water and look down at it, does it look anything out of the ordinary, or is it just a nice shell?
Beautiful shell. The water pours out of it a little bit longer as soon as you break the surface. It gets lighter as it relieves its liquid contents. Probably fetch a good price, even in a shoreside town.
She'll hold on to it and wade out of the ocean, back up onto the beach and wring out her hair.
You all would see Roberts emerge, holding a shell instead of riding in one, as an artist would rather depict. But as you all get out, you realize that it has been just about an hour since you were told Ironbender would be free.
Bianca has kind of been keeping track of the time as best she can, but got distracted watching Roberts submerge and then reemerge, and she doesn't have anything to write with or to write upon, so she's been writing something in the sand in front of her. But when everyone looks like they're ready to go, she'll stand up. Right, are we going to see Mr. the buff one who bends iron? We're going?
Can Ulsark perceive what she was doing in the sand?
Are you trying to hide it,
No.
Bianca? Okay. Yeah, then no need for a roll. You could easily walk over and verify whatever you'd like after she passed by, or just look down. Yeah, there's no roll required for this.
Are you telling a story or are you drawing a picture?
I'm not very good at drawing. She just she reminded me of something. A song.
How does it go?
I'm not singing it. I don't sing.
Oh, can you describe it to me?
I can read it to you.
I would like that.
It says, somewhere beyond the sea, somewhere waiting for me, my lover stands on golden sands and watches the ships that go sailing.
I like that one. That one's nice.
I mean, the rhyme scheme's a bit basic, but yeah.
Is it about someone in particular?
No.
Should we go see that fellow?
Probably. I mean, he might. I don't know. He sounds very intimidating if your name's Ironbender.
Well, it could be like anything else, like basket weaver or pot maker.
Do pot makers scare you?
No, but maybe he just bends iron. It's not.
What, like for fun or recreation?
This is a new place to me. I don't.
Yeah,
know.
maybe all their names are like this. I mean, I don't know what Harfoot means. It's not the same as Ironbender, so.
Maybe he makes like the pretty ornaments, or maybe iron is the only thing they have around, and they just bends it.
Maybe he's compensating for something.
What would he be compensating for?
Bianca has when Robert says that, Bianca flashes her a huge smile, the first one that actually reaches all the way up to Bianca's eyes.
She holds out the shell towards Bianca. I think we could sell this, get something for it.
Why does everyone assume I'm so obsessed with money? But she holds it.
James chuckles at the whole conversation going on.
I don't think you're obsessed with money, but you are the most chatty.
She's gonna look at the shell and not say anything purposefully.
Has anyone here ever been part of a group before? Not a group, a party of adventurers or explorers?
Yes, I think so.
Dark raises his hand. I have not.
James just kind of nods.
Bianca just.
Are we staying together, the 5 of us? Is that what we're doing?
For now.
Yeah, James kind of breathes in.
I think we should, at least until we figure out, his weird water compass issue and why we were all found here.
My answer lies in Waterdeep.
I mean, do you know that, or do you just want to go back to the pub you were in?
That's where I last was.
I don't want to go back to where I last was, so I like Waterdeep.
Thought you might.
Who doesn't like Waterdeep?
I have not been there.
Well, it's a sight better than the mountains.
It's a troubled town.
Well, okay, don't have to be hurtful about the mountains.
I didn't mean it. It was just very cold, and I got hit by blocks of ice.
Well, okay, You chose to jump. You thought that was a good idea too.
I mean, blue skeletons jump off a waterfall.
I think we could walk and talk at the same time.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it's not walking.
This
Is
was,
there
this was all in your,
a,
this was all in your dream?
Wasn't a dream.
As you all are walking and talking, this time on a return trip to the pagoda, you enter into the bend proper, and in front of you, now more dominant that you are approaching instead of withdrawing, you can see Ironbender's pagoda.
Great. Bianca's
is there a tavern here, James? You said you've been to this town before. Is there a tavern in this town?
There was. Though I don't know if it's in the same place.
Did you come some time ago?
Yes, you could say that.
Is there another
We
way to
should-
say it?
No.
sketchy priests, Robert. Sketchy priests.
When I was here, there was a tavern, yes. But it has been some time since I've been here.
I think I would like a drink after this conversation with this bender.
I would very much like a drink.
Are you all this mistrusting of priests? He kind of looks at Bianca.
This mistrusting of everyone.
Yeah, that.
Fair enough. That's a good thing, probably.
Yeah, I trust him. She points up at Ulfsick.
You're close.
I knew a big fellow once, and he was one of the best fighters I'd ever been around.
Wolfsick puts his hands up and he's like, shakes his head. Don't. I'm not the same as that person. I can tell you that right now.
The smaller are good fighters too.
Yeah, the shortest one in the group says.
I believe that.
At this point, you are climbing the hill, returning past the point where James was giving his sermon, and the pagoda lies in front of you. And standing in the opening from which you exited to first see the bend is a large 6-foot-ish man, older. He has anywhere from late 50s to early 70s. Very different the way he turns and the way he moves and the way he looks. If you'd like to try to nail that down, I will accept either a medicine, nature, or insight check, each of them giving you different information. But his shoulders are very broad, and he seems to have a strength despite the
Natty
age.
20.
Ulfsark and James, you would both know the following. His whole carriage speaks of peace and knowledge. This Ironbender almost appears as if he is in a state of conscious meditation. He is attentive, powerfully so, but he is also harmony. He sees you all approach, raises a large hand, and beckons you forward as he goes inside.
That goes in first.
James allows the
Yeah.
ladies to go first.
Allows. I push past you.
Go in.
by the time Ulfzark, even you get inside, you can see in the exposed stairway that Ironbender's already at the 3rd floor where you all went in. He continues to ascend past that point. I'm assuming everyone's following, and if that's the case, you ascend up about 7 floors, and you see a large area open up inside the pagoda, and it seems to be a rock garden. Everywhere inside here, exquisitely arranged and etched rocks form. They don't remind of tombstones, but they bear the same shape, and they are fashioned like clover or like a V, arranged perfectly, the sand around them swirling in drawn patterns. Ironbender stands there and he holds what looks like a long wand or stylus, a tapered and carved piece of bamboo. And in his other hand, he holds a small brush. He beckons you over.
Like a paintbrush or like a hairbrush?
Like I'm going to clean the floor brush. Almost broom-sized, but smaller. With almost a brush head on it.
We'll go over hesitantly.
James stays in the back, kind of observes things.
When you get
This
over...
is-
Go ahead.
This is a very beautiful, it's the most beautiful thing I have seen that does not involve any life whatsoever.
He turns and raises an eyebrow at Ulfzark, nods, and with his right hand he begins to write in the sand. And with a practiced perfection, he begins to scrub clean what he wrote before he's even finished. And it says the following: "The sand holds fast the secrets that we will share. We do not speak outside of the sand. Not of these things." And he continues to write. "I believe I know why you are here." And that's where we'll end our story for this evening. Yay! Fantastic, my friends. Love everyone's characters. Let's go around and talk to everyone as we figure out exactly who we are and where we can be found on the internets. Let's go around and we'll go with Lauren. Lauren, how are you doing, my friend?
Doing great. Super excited to finally get into this and have the first episode under our belt. Yeah, I'm good. I'm Lauren. I'm that salty ginger over on Twitter. I'm part of the team here at Tales from the Grim, where I run a game of Urban Shadows in like 50 minutes right here. So come back for that. I have no idea what's going to happen. I never do, but it'll probably be disastrous. So if you like that, you should tune in.
It's never disastrous. It's beautiful. Lauren has great stories that we really try to trash fire, but our consequences always seem to come back to bite us in the butt. Go figure. But yes, Bad Moon Rising starting in just a few minutes, actually, at top of the hour. Billy, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing great. This whole sandbox mystery thing oh man, every little thing, like one half of a sentence you could say illuminates a whole new thing, and this is I'm having a great old time. Everybody is awesome. If you like what I do, you could find me on this channel Wednesday evenings for May Black Roses Bloom at 8 p.m. Eastern. If you Bill of the Forest on Twitter. But everybody else is way better than me, and I'm honored to be able to play with y'all. This is a hoot. Thank you.
Fantastic, my friend. Let's go over to Summer. Summer, how are you this fine evening? And where can we see you on the internet?
Wow, we're all best friends. This was so much fun. I'm doing great. And yeah, every different thing I'm like, can I just talk to a tree for like 4 hours? Is that normal? Can I do that? This was awesome. I can't wait for more. You can find me on Twitter at Just a Summer Job. That's where I retweet everything that I've got going on. It's where I would recommend following me. Um, the thing that I want to plug, and I had talked about this yesterday, but I have Urban Shadows podcast coming out today. Cape Lorelei came out. I am really, really excited. If you go, it's our most recent tweet on off_the_table on Twitter. It's really, really fun. Get to meet all the characters, get to know a little bit about the city. But yeah, I'm really proud of it. So if you want to give that a listen, it's super fun. So yeah, thank you. I love being here.
Fantastic, my friend. Fantastic. Katie, a part of that too. Katie was here for our last two. And so make sure you jump on to that immediately, if not sooner. Steve, my friend, welcome aboard. How are you doing?
Oh, fun, blast. Loved it. Everybody. I love all the characters. I love just watching how they all work. Everybody is fantastic. And I just can't wait for this. It's been a while since I've been this character, and I'm trying to get my, to like riding a bike, trying to get my feet back under it and go steady. And I just can't wait to see what you have in store, because I know what I experienced there. And so I love everybody. Thank you. I will see you again next week. So take care.
Fantastic, buddy. And your sermon was awesome. I loved it. Loved it. And finally, my buddy Don. Don, how are you doing? And I don't know where you are, so please tell me where you can find you online.
I am great. I had a really good time. First episodes are always fun because characters are meeting each other for the first time. And a couple of characters, we'd had the chance in the preludes to do that, but to have everybody together, really cool. And to kind of start to get a little bit of a bigger sense of the surrounding area and what it is and what the people are like is really nice. Still don't trust anything, but that's me. I will die that way, not trusting anything. But yeah, I had a great time. I can't look forward what's coming next more. And just like Steven said, I haven't played the character that I'm playing now in a long time, but I've missed it, and it's a lot of fun to get back to it. So thank you for providing me that opportunity. All these people are amazing and my friends, and you can follow me online at Jonathan Fry on Twitter. I write stuff, I stream other stuff. I'm the Dungeon Master for May Black Roses Bloom here on this channel on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And anything I do, I throw up on Twitter. So just check it out there.
Fantastic, buddy. Fantastic. And before we go away, I'll say my things, but I will ask Summer first to roll me a D4.
Okay.
Summer's like, I closed down roll 20. You didn't tell me.
Oh, I've got it. 2.
You have just gained 2 more renown as
hell yeah,
because of the vote that has come in, and we will start next episode with another vote that will give our $150 tier that would give one of these characters the option to pick which session they would like to be able to roll with advantage for the entire session. Saving throw, attacks, or skill checks. They will get to pocket that and pull it out whenever they think we might have a fight. I might need to make death saves. Something of that nature. So it is a huge power, and you will be able to vote for one of these players to be awarded it at the top. At the top of next episode. Yes, you are going to fight. As for me, I am Grimjack21502 on the Twitter, part of the Tales from the Grim team here on the Twitch. You can see me in 45 minutes as we jump into Bad Moon Rising, but please come back here, hit a follow, and join Don as he jumps into the DM's chair. Billy and I will be there as we do a little May Black Roses Bloom on Wednesday at 8 p.m. And then on Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, we take to the stars. And by we, I mean Lauren, I mean Summer, and I mean Steve, as we fly away in Star Trek Continuing Mission. A lot of fun stuff. Community involvement is huge. We have a brand new community campaign starting up very, very soon. If you'd like to try this out and have some fun with us, we would love for you to show up. I saw that Kiana threw the link up for Discord and chat, that is a great place to come over and hang out with the community. Even if you're watching on YouTube and you're not able to catch us live, we're always on Discord. Please come over there. Just say hi. We'll rap, talk about stuff. It's a great, great, fabulous, kind community. Keyword, being kind. And so as we get ready to go and drift off into a story for another sun, thank you all for being here. Thank you for your huge generosity, Hawk and Sphinx. It will mean the world to one of these players who will be able to pocket it. Plus, we will get to see Hawk in action, and we get feats or items for all of the characters, thanks to Sphinx's donation. So thank you all so very, very much. And as the campfire goes down, there's only one thing left to say. You can't always roll nat 20s, but you can always role play. And here, we like to be able to, let's go out with some music, eh?
Don't stop at the end.